we don't talk about it, that is also one more problem. We have to start talking about it, and period should not be considered as a taboo anymore. So I would try with our international panelists once again. Heather, can you hear me?
We all have a role to play. We all have skills, perspective, experiences that we can, put forward to be part of the change. You don't have to be a filmmaker. Thank you, and I hope that you heard that.
Yes, we could hear that, Shannon. Thank you so much. So my first question. So this port or endometriosis survivors who will be talking to you after our panel. So they have gone through this, they have seen through this, and they are really suffering because physically they look normal, and everybody says even if they express they have pain, nobody believes them because every day you can't tell them you have pain. Every day you can't tell your office people that I won't come because I have pain, because pain is not seen. So what is not seen is not considered a disability. So this is very important that we bring it to forefront and people recognize it as a disorder or a chronic illness which needs attention, and proper health care funding should be there and research should be there so that we can find new treatment options and help these women live a good quality of life.
A story around the pain of a woman, then a lot of people, there will be resonance, a lot of people will understand that. Now, I have worked extensively in the area called development communication. So, in that, there are two ways of connecting to people. One is a storytelling that really appeals to people who are creative, who are right-brained, as we typically call. But someone like me would like to know the numbers. How many women have? You mean to say 1 lakh women have? So I'm a number person. So when you want to spread a message, you need to use both, because there is a section of society that is number-driven, statistics-driven, data-driven. You have to appeal to them. There is this section of society that is mushy in the heart and they need to be told a story. We have to do both. That's when you will get funding, that's when you will get people to work with you, that's when you can make a good success. We'll work on it.
So we're looking at cutting the time of diagnosis that way, but also really expanding the management components. I think that once we all get on the same page, I think that we're going to do much better.
How I'd like to look at this, like you rightly said, is, this has been such an eye-opener. So one is opening the forum for both genders, like I said, and I'm repeating. But I think, mythbusters, a forum where you can actually, kind of get to know the facts about the disease is very, very important. So having experts, doctors to come talk to, the community at schools, I think is very, very important. And, like stories, like everybody is relating to stories just because it was so visually appealing, and it's true. So when you have people who've gone through this and are still going through this, if they can come and share their stories, I know it's very, very difficult. There's so much of stigma attached to this whole thing that some of them may want to show up and some of them not. So if we don't start speaking up as adults, what kind of a generation are we going to be? Because neither can the doctor judge, nor can the child know. And what is it that a parent will go through? So I think we all have to get sensitive to this and see how best in a positive manner. So there's some proactive things that I saw in the movie, like exercise and diet and proper consultation. But I think when it comes from people who are living with it and they hear their stories, I think that support system, when we create, I think will actually break barriers and make life much better.
Is dismissed and says always that she has painful periods, but everybody tells us that it is normal. So she starts comparing herself with her classmates. That is it me who is abnormal, who is not able to tolerate, or everybody else is tolerating because it is normal. So that has a huge psychological impact on their upbringing. Second aspect of it is many parents do not get their surgeries done. They say she's not married. So they do not look at the quality of life of that girl or woman. They always look at her like she has to get married and have children. So that concept has to be changed and they should be treated with respect, and we should work on improving improving their quality of life rather than thinking about these aspects. You have been recognized for your adoption of IT-based solution to do your work. So how IT can help us improving endometriosis awareness and patient outcomes, especially in remote and underserved areas?
Missions to everything, the IT tools are being so well accessed. In spite of various reservations we had about accessibility, network and all that, still today for any kind of function, any kind of facilities or services from the government, the interpersonal interface between people is reduced and much more objective kind of services are being given through the digital interface in the country. It can be of great help even in health because number one, the data that people collect from various number of functionaries that are available, that go a long way because this is still a disease where you're not sure about the reason, the cause. And I'm sure when you have enough data, then we break through from that angle as well. And you can very well collect information about who are the worst or most frequently affected, or you can see the prognosis and you can see the various other diseases that are probably also marked along with endometriosis, and this kind of data can go a long way. And digital information which is gathered from all the hospitals can be of great use. Because I mean that this will happen when we can open endometriosis as well, along with the various other checklisted diseases that the primary health centers and the various hospitals in the government and private sector operate on. There's a lot of data collection done, and this could be improved.
This time that I'm attending a conference dedicated to endometriosis, and this is the first time that I was invited to speak. So you know what kind of lack of knowledge that has happened. So congratulations on actually planning this up and of course taking the first step of starting the foundation. 10 years ago, the word depression was not mainstream. We always thought, okay, it's a mental health, शायद हमारे family में नहीं होगा ये, right? But one celebrity, Deepika Padukone, spoke about it. It just exploded. Today, everybody, you ask a 10-year-old, and they will like, शायद मुझे भी depression है, right? That is the kind of awareness it has created. PCOS, PCOD, again, words that I think 10 years ago I used to Google or look up in a dictionary or ask a medical expert. Today, PCOS is like trending on some of the days like World Health Day and things like that. So what I'm trying to say is that when a disease gets a human face, I think it's far more relatable. Typically what I notice is that when I get medical information, it's loaded with facts and figures like 7 out of 20, so many million. In fact, I can't process numbers. I don't know how many women would make like a 1 million in one room. It's just very unfathomable. But when somebody gives me a case study, like she started in the morning, she had a pain in the pit of her stomach, and then it kind of did this, and then she had a mood swing, and then she called her boss, and she had a fight with her husband. Somehow the whole thing gets, you feel like, okay, fine, I can relate to it. So I personally, symptoms, more of things that we can relate to, we can all start writing. I would say that perhaps as media, we are guilty of not giving endometriosis the kind of space it deserves. But I guess now that you have started with a conference like this, I'm presuming that we should be able to dedicate column inches of space almost every month, because the kind of numbers that affect women, almost from infertility to affecting their daily work. So I guess having a conference, more such things where a lot more media people are involved, where probably, like you just mentioned, victims of endometriosis, giving them access to talk to them, find out case studies will help writers like me understand and spread the word. So this is I think a first step, and I'm sure
Reading up a bit about endometriosis, now I suspect that my mother was a victim of that disease. She used to have very painful periods, and she had ovarian cancer, and we lost her to ovarian cancer. In spite of being highly clued into the medical system, in spite of being, let's say, majorly influential, we couldn't get any help. So it is something fairly difficult, I guess, in India as of now. Now, coming to your question, I'd like to just give a macro perspective about how other countries are doing it. Like, for instance, just a few days ago, I was on a call with a doctor called Dr. Jennifer Wider. She's a very well-known author. She works quite closely with women